Today, geometry, we're going on to CO47, which is another type of quadrilateral, another type of parallelogram. It is a rectangle. And it shares those same 5 characteristics as all parallelograms have, because it is indeed a parallelogram. And so once again, let's review those. What are the 5 characteristics that all parallelograms across the board have? Give me one.
4 sides. Opposite angles are congruent.
Opposite angles are congruent.
She said sides.
Did you say sides?
Yes.
Because sides are congruent as well.
That was what I was gonna say.
That is what you said.
Oh yeah.
Since I'm having you write these down every single day for like 4 objectives in a row, you need to know them for the test. This is a big hint. This is like very important stuff here. In fact, I just might on the test ask you what the 5 characteristics of all parallelograms are. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but it's a key point. If you want a help sheet. Jack, give me another one.
Consecutive angles are supplementary.
Yes.
That's a big word.
Consecutive angles are supplementary. Okay, which a couple vocab words there. Consecutive means angles that are next to each other as you go around the shape. Okay, that's not opposite. Next to, like for example, this angle here, angle Q, and this angle here, angle T, would be consecutive angles. Right? They're next to each other in the figure. And then supplementary means they sum to 180 degrees. A couple vocab words that are coming back here. Another one, Kylie.
Diagonals bisect each other.
Diagonals bisect each other. And last but not least, Dan.
Opposite sides. Let me try this one out. Are congruent.
We already have that one, but you're not wrong. We just already have it.
That was a good guess.
Yep.
Opposite sides are parallel.
Parallel. Opposite sides are parallel.
I had congruent on my sheet.
Well, that's one of the ones too. So both are the same. Okay. And then, like we did in CO46, we talked about those things that are special to a rhombus. Okay. If you look at the diagonals of a rectangle, unlike a rhombus, Jack, they do not intersect to make 4 90-degree angles. Okay. If you look at the diagonals of a rectangle, they do not bisect each pair of opposite sides. But the diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. The diagonals are congruent. That is special to a rectangle. Damien, it's now quiet time.
Okay, quiet.
Diagonals are congruent. That is one of the special characteristics of a rectangle. The other, having to do with its angles, it has 4 right angles. Okay, 4 right angles. And since it has those 4 right angles, the 4 right angles of a rectangle are in the corners. What do we have inside of a rectangle that we love to see? Triangles. What type of triangles? Right triangles, which means you can expect to use the Pythagorean theorem, 45, 45, 30, 60, sine, cosine, tangent, all those things from last unit once again come back here. Okay? And armed with that information, you are now equipped to answer all the questions below about the sides and angles and diagonals in that rectangle. We can go over a couple. Okay? But if you look at what these relationships are, and you remember how to find missing sides and missing angles, that's all the information that we need. To our toolbox today, we added these 2 items. Everything else that's already in there, feel free to use. Okay? So, anyone still need the notes here?
No.
Okay. Let's talk about a couple of these. Which one would you like to go over? First one, angle SRT. So one thing that we talked about last week, Thursday, about how to read angles. I kind of was under the assumption that we were all comfortable with reading angles, but it came out that some of us aren't quite yet. Remember what this means. angle SRT, R being in the middle, that's the important one. That tells you where your vertex is, okay? Angle SRT says it's going from point S up to point R, R's in the middle, and then over to point T. So angle SRT is this one right up there,
Ah.
okay? That's how you read an angle. Anyone have any thoughts as to what this angle SRT is right up here?
34.
How do you get 34?
Because opposite
Damien?
angles are
I looked at that bottom 34, and I looked at it, and I thought to myself, same time, our opposite angle is congruent, and I thought yes.
Okay, so Dame time. A couple things here. Number one, it's the opposite angles of the rectangle, not the triangle, that are congruent. And also, Dame time.
I'm with you.
If we look at that triangle, that angle T here and angle R are a
I
part
actually
of.
know it.
90 plus 34 plus 34 does not equal 180,
I know it.
right?
It's
Which it
56.
has to,
56.
because that's a triangle. Okay, Catherine?
Oh.
What's consecutive mean?
Next to. Consecutive
So,
means
like-
next to.
Like U and
Yes, like this angle here and this angle here are consecutive angles. Who said 56? Joy, was that you?
That was me. That was daytime.
It was daytime
Daytime?
first, and then it was me.
How'd you get 50?
Okay,
Six
so
then.
what Daytime did is
Oh, we're talking in third person now.
yeah.
Not only third person, but self-given nickname. This is Spanish.
No, this is not self-given.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
Nickname.
no.
Yeah, it is.
It was
I call
It
myself
was
Daytime,
self-earned.
and other people
It was
call me
earned.
Daytime.
It was
No,
self-earned.
it was self-given.
It was
No,
earned. It was
no,
self-earned.
It's earned by hard work and
It was
bitch.
It was
No, but who was the first person to
Me.
Damien.
No, it was not. It was Wyatt.
self-given nickname?
You made up.
Okay, but
Okay,
Daytime was better.
3, 2, 1, 5.
It was Jack.
Yeah, it was me. I literally came up with it's same size.
Yeah, it's literally consecutive is next to, adjacent is next to as well. They both are similar.
Similar than
Damien, go ahead. Why is it 56?
So I did 90 minus 34, and it gave me the awesome answer of 56.
Yeah, so even something as elementary as a triangle having 180 degrees in it, we can use that to help us, right? If we know that this angle down here is 34, we've got that right angle there, we know exists. That's one of our characteristics of a rectangle. That means that this angle up here has to complete that sum of 180, therefore it has to be 56 degrees. Okay? Others? Sophie? Sure. Pick one. QP. Okay. So QP is this part of the diagonal here, which means that we need to get the whole diagonal. We actually need to get QS because we know that QP is congruent to PS. Whatever QS is, QP is going to be half of that. Okay. And we're actually not ready to.
We're giving QS.
Oh, we're giving QS. Well, there you go. And look at that.
If we didn't
Oh my gosh.
we could have used sine, cosine.
We would have to have another angle
We could have used sine, cosine.
to work our way around.
Shit.
So if QS is 10, QP is half that, QP would be 5. For the other sides, expect to use Pythagorean theorem or sine, cosine, tangent. Knowing that this diagonal is 10, and we've got those 4 right triangles in there, that diagonal is the hypotenuse of 2 of them. It's the hypotenuse of triangle QTS here and triangle QRS over here. And so that can be helpful to you. Yeah, Ellen.
So is QS and RT the same?
QS and RT are the same because one of the other characteristics of a rectangle is that the diagonals are congruent. So if QS is 10, then RT would be 10 as well.
This is
Okay.
5. This is 5.
All right,
That is
homework for tomorrow. Finish the page. Use your Pythagorean theorem. Use your sine, cosine, tangent. I'm here. Michelle Lynn is here. You've got each other to work on. Also, and that's my math.
Don't forget, like,